Good morning and very warm welcome at For You Plus at CU Growing Together event. My name is Tomáš.
My name is Kristina.
I'm a communication officer at For You Plus.
I'm also a communication officer, even though in our cases it means a bit different things. We have a bit different roles and tasks. We can tell a bit about this later, but actually today is not about us. Even though we did sneak in a few pictures from our For You Plus adventures.
So if it's not about us, what is it about today?
It's about sharing inspiration. It's about sharing inspiration. We will hear stories from students, academics, and staff. We will catch glimpses of real experiences of those who are directly involved in For You Plus activities.
It's a chance to explore opportunities, see how you can get involved, bring your ideas to life, and contribute to Alliance journey. We'll also celebrate achievements, discuss strategic directions, and look ahead the future of For You Plus at Charles University.
And as the theme suggests, it will be a lot about growing. We will explore, we will reflect on what we have grown together within For You Plus. We will see how we are growing personally, professionally, what perspectives we are getting, and also as the For You Plus community at Charles University continues to flourish and grow. The heart of today is really the community we feel part of.
So, in a way, it's about us. It's about all us in this room and also in online. Our stories, ideas, and perspectives. So let's connect, share, and inspire each other.
It's really nice to see so many familiar faces, but I'm also glad to see new faces. Maybe you are here to see how you can get involved in For You Plus, or you're just curious. That's okay. There will be something for everybody.
Thank you for being here. And as I mentioned already, we are streamed, so hi.
Okay, and with that, let's get started. There really couldn't be a better person to start us off than Professor Lenka Rovna. Lenka has been part of the For You Plus Alliance from the very beginning. Formally, she is a member of Director's Board and a part of the For You Plus Management Committee. But informally, and perhaps even more importantly, Lenka is often seen as heart and soul of For You Plus. Her positive energy and dedication continue to inspire rectors, students, and staff.
Lenka, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I am touched. I didn't know about what you are going to say. But anyways, thank you very much. I realized recently that my main role everywhere is to share memoirs, so that we will be meeting with all rectors in Warsaw and all colleagues from all For You Plus universities. And I got the program and I am there to speak about the past, about memories. But I very much hope that we will be speaking also, as Kristina and Tom said, about the future and how we can grow together. So it's wonderful to see so many participants. I am sure that we have a lot also online and that during the day we will welcome even more colleagues to come. So once again, dear colleagues, dear students, dear friends, it's a pleasure to welcome you here. First of all, I would like to send many greetings from the rector of Charles University. Unfortunately, she was supposed to open our meeting, but she has some working duties and she will join us in the afternoon speaking in the panel with the students. I was thinking to say a few words to begin with, and I was thinking about the famous quotation by Jean Monnet, the founder of European integration, who said that if he were to start again, he would start with culture. He never said that anyway. But I think that the quotation is nice, that he was very smart to start with steel and coal because it was strategic for Europe, for reconciliation, and especially for security of Europe. But if we look how we would start now, or what is the next stage, then I think we can more than agree with Enrico Letta, and my successors, Vera and Elena, will speak about his speech. Last week we were very lucky with Elena, our Secretary General, current, because we were visiting in Brussels the meeting of representatives of all alliances in Europe, now 65. The rumors were about 80 in the future, and with European Commission and representatives of the nation states or member states. And Enrico Letta spoke again about his fifth freedom. It is freedom of free movement of knowledge. So it means that he would start, or he would like to continue with research, education, and promoting cooperation in this field. Using, again, the words of Jean Monnet, we see it as a spillover effect and expansion and deepening of European integration, what I think is needed now more than ever. So enjoy the day. We very much hope that it will be enriching for all of us. And thank you very much for coming. And we will continue with our program and other speeches. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lenka, for the inspirational words. I think we will open some of the topics later.
We know that many of you are already deeply involved in For You Plus and know the Alliance inside out. But is there anyone here who isn't quite sure what is For You Plus all about? You can raise your hands. Great. Oh, okay, cool. We can see some hands. No need to be shy because today is about learning together. As a starting point, we will play a short introduction video, what the Alliance is, what it does, and why. So let's take a look.
Is why we are working together to create one comprehensive research-intensive European university. The 4EU Plus Alliance is made up of 8 large public European universities: Charles University, Heidelberg University, Paris Pantheon Assas University, Sorbonne University, University of Copenhagen, University of Geneva, University of Milan, and University of Warsaw. While strongly embedded in our local regions, we proudly share common values and a global outlook. We are building a transnational university of the future, which will be adapted to the needs of contemporary society. What are the values that guide us? Personalization of education. We want to help everyone access high-quality education by offering programs that respect the needs of students and give them the opportunity to take ownership of their learning. Interdisciplinarity as our response to society's expectations. We believe that engaging students, academics, and professionals across borders and different disciplines fosters creativity and gives rise to better solutions for the future. Excellence in both education and research. We are convinced that research and education are inseparable, as one cannot produce high-quality results without the other. We are developing a truly united university system to create synergies, achieve complementarity, and build one common yet intercultural identity. Our education and research are centered around 4 flagships, interdisciplinary thematic areas, addressing the most crucial societal and educational challenges that our world is grappling with. Within flagships, we offer a range of opportunities such as new and flexible mobility schemes, education and training modules, transversal academic projects, innovative joint courses and programs, and other initiatives that ensure learning continues well beyond the classroom. Through collaborative work, we create a unique added value. For EU+, growing together.
So I hope we all now have an overview of what For You Plus stands for, of the member universities, of the values and the core vision to build one comprehensive, research-intensive European university.
Before we dive into our main program, let's go over a few practicalities. So, as you can see, this morning we have a fantastic lineup of speakers from across the For You Plus community. We will be taking a quick tour through various aspects of the Alliance, and there will be a Q&A session at the end. If time is low, you can ask 1 or 2 questions at the end of each block.
And in the afternoon, there will be parallel sessions where we will dig a bit deeper into some of the topics. There is a session on educational and research strategies, on administration, and there is the roundtable of student network with director. You can see on your name tags the dots and the color that is indicated indicates the session you are invited to. If you are not sure, please reach us at the registration desk and we will help you.
During breaks, there's engagement wall in the foyer, so don't be shy to express your thoughts, ideas, and experiences.
And a little extra, in the gift bags that you've been given, there are some seeds that you can plant. So even if you feel like we can later on share what we have grown together, even though I must admit that in my case it perhaps will not be something very impressive because my gardening skills are pretty poor, but I'm sure you will do better, including you, Tom, because I know you are quite a plant lover.
That's true, I must admit, but I believe, Kristinka, that this time you can make it. I believe we also invite you to follow For You Plus on Instagram, where our student ambassador Shifa will be capturing highlights from today. She's in the audience now. Summer, could you stand up, Shifa? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to tag For You Plus and Charles University on your social media, but you can share not just today, but also tomorrow.
So now I think we are all set to start with our first block that is called Stronger Together, Shaping European Higher Education, where we will focus on bigger picture and explore the evolving landscape of European higher education and the important roles that alliances play in it, including For You Plus. And we will also see the impact that being part of the alliance has on Charles University.
We are honored to welcome Ms. Věra Jourová, former European Commission Vice President and current Charles University Vice Rector for the Development of Human Resources and New Technologies. She'll provide a political perspective on the future of higher education in Europe.
It's also a great pleasure to invite Elena Del Giorgio. Elena is a For You Plus policy officer and currently serving as For You Plus Secretary General at Interim. We are happy to have you, knowing also that she is coming from another For You Plus day at Sorbonne. And Elena will offer insights into strategic directions of the Alliance and the vital role that they play in shaping European higher education. And we still have Lenka. As she already mentioned, she will bring a bit of historical memory in the most positive sense, and perspectives of why being part of For You Plus matters for Charles University.
Okay, ladies, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I always feel a very strong feeling, and it's a moment for me to speak under the control of Lenka, but mainly under the control of the first democratic president of this country, Tomáš Garrigue Masaryk, who is still, I think, Lenka, you will agree with me, navigating us spiritually and intellectually. And one of the main slogans of Masaryk is, in many variations, that education is absolutely key for democratic society. So I think that I will not deviate from this line in what I want to tell you about how we see the future of higher education in Europe. I think that we saw in the video that one of the main values respected and promoted by For You Plus is high quality education. And this is absolutely true, that only education is leading to excellence in research and creates the way to good jobs and creating modern society, and also to promote higher education and research is a very strong reason for Europe, because we need educated people in European Union in order to be able to promote modern democracy which will survive digital age. It is especially the education to critical thinking. I wanted to start this presentation, which should last less than 7 minutes. Who will stop me, Lenka? I think that it's already well known that the EU created, or the Commission proposed, the strategic paper which is called Competitiveness Compass, or Compass for Competitiveness. I will not read all those information which are on the slide, but I wanted to add one comment to it. If you read through this paper based on Draghi's report, we see that there is a very strong effort to streamline the efforts, to narrow the topics and themes, for instance, sectors of research, and to promote only those which will contribute to competitiveness. And it might be taken also as a controversial thing, because what are the sectors of research which contribute to competitiveness? Well, the Commission had courage to name them: AI, cybersecurity, semiconductors, clean technologies, energy storage, quantum, life sciences. And I think that's neurotechnology. That's it. So narrowing, streamlining. And when you read the Compass, you can find there a very strong article about the role of universities, of research institutions, strong role of alliances of universities. So the Compass tells us that we would like to see removal of the country borders, that we need to cooperate together. And this is, by the way, very strong also value promoted by our platform, which is seen in For You Plus project. When I read the Compass, and when I think about the messages for the high education institutions and research institutions, I hear something like, don't ask what the EU will do for you. Ask yourself what you can do for the EU. Because the Compass is just a direction. The main thing is whether we all are on board and whether we will follow the direction which has been defined by this European document. Oh my God, I am now sentimental. I see my former boss Ursula von der Leyen. I wouldn't like to be in her skin now. But this is it seems to be a lucky moment, the nice moment when Mr. Draghi gave her his report, but it was not fully like that because Draghi's report is full of criticism about overregulation and about the slow speed of European research, and gaps in education, gaps in many other things. So some say that the Draghi's report is a wake-up call. I hate this slogan because what else is the wake-up call at the moment? We have to, however, understand our current situation and do everything to change things into the better. Again, here in Draghi's report, which is one of the sources of the Compass, is a very strong support for university alliances as a strategic initiative. Yeah, Enrico Letta, that's the author of the second key report, which served as a source for the political guidelines, which Ursula von der Leyen presented to the Parliament last year. Indeed, he surprised us all when he introduced the term fifth freedom. And when you think about it, it has a deep logic that if we really want to make a good progress in the EU, we have to do everything to remove the borders and to cooperate. And I think that this is the main idea behind this fifth freedom plan. Again, it won't be easy to apply it in full, to implement it, but we have to try and we have to do everything. The European degree, for instance, should be considered as a cornerstone of this so-called fifth freedom. There is another, there was a triangle of the reports. The third one is the report done or made by Sauli Niinisto, who is the former president of Finland, and it was the report on security. So if you want to understand the new Commission's program, you should look into all three reports. This is not on the slide, but this report is very important. I think it was a smart thing to ask these three men with highly respected track record and with fantastic political career to go to European countries and ask people, ask institutional representatives how European Union should continue. It was Draghi, it was Letta, and it was Niinisto. They did it in their way. I myself very much admire the way Enrico Letta did it because he traveled to every country and he spoke to thousands of people. It is the report which was created, if I may say, bottom up. As for Mr. Draghi's report, well, everybody admires the report, that it is so realistic and it is in some way even brutal, as I said, wake up call. But I have to say I read with a regret the sources of information and consultations Mr. Draghi used for his report. Because I don't know if you noticed it, there was no university from Central and Eastern Europe. As if the border between so-called old and new Europe still remains on the place. So I think that it's also something we should reflect in our way, in our work, and place the Central and Eastern European universities stronger on the map of European research and education. Well, I am sure that during my comments you read the slide. This is the last slide, which refers to the Polish presidency of the Council, which is now ongoing, ending in June this year. They are focusing very much on student mental health and also promoting the role of women in science, among many other things which Polish presidency now is focusing on. So, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't it too positive, everything I said? Will you give me one last minute to spoil the party? I think that whatever we read in these documents and however we think about the future of Europe, we cannot ignore unprecedented and alarming context situation requiring robust investments in our security and defense. And when you realize how we've worked so far and how we used European finance in promoting and supporting different things, I think that we have to see that the holy trinity of the priorities of the EU, which was with us for decades, which is welfare, social state, green, and security, will be reconfigured, and the financial sources will have to be redirected to the last one. And I think that it will be projected already soon in the first proposal of the new 7 years budget. Now the Commission is working on the first draft, which will be soon debated. So what I expect, there will be much stronger support of security and defense for very, very strong reasons. I think that we will know more tomorrow after the summit. I expect not only releasing the rules for financing of the military technologies and the money for the military investments, but I think there will also be redirecting of some funds, as we used to know as the funds promoting research and education, into this new priority. Again, I have to say, for a strong reason. What I expect next will be probably a bigger budget for migration or against the illegal migration. The things which are contained in the, or described in the compass of competitiveness will be, of course, also financed. I guess there will be strong investment in AI and related technologies. Ursula already announced additional 50 billion euro. So European Union will be struggling with the situation and will have to target the money where it will show very quick and decisive progress. So this is the current reality. This is what we can expect. But I will now come back in the last sentence to a positive note. I am sure that high education, or education in general, high quality education and research and innovations will remain as one of the main priorities, and that we can count with the EU that we will still live on a good address. We as researchers, as the people working at the universities, and that we can rely on sustainable support. But again, I think it's the time also when we have to ask ourselves what we can do for the EU and for our common project. Thank you very much.
Good morning, and thank you first of all to Charles University, to Lenka Rovna, to Vera Jourova for the invitation. It's always a pleasure for me to be here. With Lenka, we share a long history for EU+. We've been there from day one. Lenka, day zero, I'll say, for you, and I'll join a little later. And thank you to the For EU+ team for the excellent job in organizing and the excellent collaboration as usual. And thank you in particular to Vice Rector Jourova for this very insightful speech and for sharing your expertise and very realistic, because speech, I mean, points you share, this is what is coming. But I'd also like to bring some positive note and look into what For EU+ is doing. So first of all, I'll zoom in very quickly on two major developments for EU+. The first is that our alliance launched last year and is promoting this year its new strategy 2025-2035. You'll find here the link to our website. And what is our strategy? It is a framework for expanding and further deepening collaboration within and across missions. And it will be accompanied by an action plan, on which we're working in these weeks, as a tool to monitor and prioritize new initiatives and the resources invested in current initiatives. And Vice Rector Europe was really right, the landscape also in terms of funding is changing, so it will be absolutely fundamental to have an action plan driving our actions and adapting to a rapidly changing landscape. Here you find the structure of the strategy. I won't go into details, but allow me to stress just 2 points. We are the only alliance among the 65 who has already launched a 10 years long strategy. And I think this is very important because this speaks for the engagement and commitment of our rectors. And my greetings to Milena, of course, here in Prague, but all the rectors for their commitment and engagement. But it also speaks for the long-term need to think long-term and the time that institutional transformation takes. So we're fully aware that building one comprehensive research-intensive university will take time. And the other point to highlight is the fact that our strategy spans across universities' mission. We are not just focusing on education, we're focusing on education, research, innovation, and global outreach. And we are doing so by strengthening some enabling conditions. Committed leadership, and again, our rectors, our vice rectors, our management committee are really engaged in our alliance. Pooling of resources. Our universities are generously funding internal initiatives, including an effective decision-making. We're working on getting better and better in our internal processes and dialogue with partners. So these 4 points, you'll see, again, the specific actions, and you can, of course, turn to your local office for having all the information regarding the activities that are going on. This is a quotation from the strategy. Together we aim to create an integrated inter-university campus contributing to the development of European university alliances as universities of the future. This statement still stands, meaning that what we're trying to do is really building one European universities going beyond borders, enhancing the capacity of our students, academics, and staff to collaborate and to move across our borders and countries. In order to do so, just some few words on the many projects and activities we have. This is just an overview of the EU projects that we have already completed and the ones that are going on. Again, I'm not going into details, but For You Plus One Core is our, let's say, main project funded by Erasmus Plus, through which we lay the foundations for the building up of our joint university. And allow me to point at 3 new projects in particular. For You for All, I'll get to that in a second. For You Plus Misi. By the way, Mici in Italian, I'm Italian, means cats, and I always mention that because I really like that title. Kidding aside, it is a project focusing on micro-credentials. Today, the European Commission will launch its Union of Skills, rightly today, so we're waiting for the final text. This package, so let's say, will rotate around 3 objectives, 3 pillars, and micro-credential is really, right now, the development of short courses for lifelong learning, but even for students, is crucial, will be crucial in this package. ARM framework, research support. We are the only alliance present in this Horizon Europe type of projects, supporting the upskilling and reskilling of research managers. And I think it is very important. Charles University, through Adela, is very involved in this project, so really glad that we got there. And then a word on the For You for All community. This is much more than a project. It is funded through the Erasmus Plus funding, but DG EAC provided support to an informal network that was already existing among the but back then the first 17 alliances, then 45, 44, now 65, 60, and soon maybe, according to the rumors, it might be in the Union of Skills, that objective. So we'll find out by tonight. Probably soon to be 80 alliances. So it is much more than a project, it is a community among alliances through which we exchange best practices, and we develop also common, let's say, demands and positions towards stakeholders and the European Union. So alliances truly as a drivers of innovation. And Lenka anticipated, we were together in Brussels last week, and it was really interesting to see the critical mass, the enthusiasm that is there, despite the awareness of the really troubled time we're navigating through, or maybe because of this awareness. We need to stick together. And so this is a really wonderful development, and For You Plus is very much present in the community of For You for All. Now, the second major development next to the strategy is the opening of our branch office in Brussels, which was done in May. And we're now in the process of moving our legal entity from Heidelberg. So we were one of the few alliances to go for a legal entity almost since from the start. We now decided to move the legal entity from Heidelberg to the center of the European Union, precisely our office is in the European area, in the European quarter, with the objective to be closer to stakeholders and institutions. And here you see a picture of the very first event we organized on site at our premises about the governance schemes of alliances. It was very participated, proud to say that we have over 130 participants between in presence and online. And there you see the team, and Laura Collò, who's our wonderful One Core project manager, ensuring that, our big project is implemented. Mirsada, a wonderful new colleague who started in October and was taking care of the finance and administrative parts of the General Secretariat, which is not a detail because, we're really building up a new structure in Brussels. So before closing, if you allow me, just one final word. Lenka, you mentioned Jean Monnet. And it reminded me of one of my favorite quotes from another founding father of the EU, which is Altiero Spinelli, to whom the Parliament is entitled. And it's one of my favorite because the Ventotene Manifesto was published, the first version in 1944. So during the war, and the title is for a free and united Europe. And the very last sentence says, "The road ahead, the path ahead, won't be neither easy nor safe, but it needs to be followed, and we will follow it." And I think it was drafted in 44, and I think that applies really to where we are today. It won't be easy, it won't be safe, but we need to stick together and remember that what we're doing is of utmost importance to stay united and to build a better Europe for the future, thinking of our students and the next generation of Europeans. So thank you very much for organizing this event, and looking forward to hear also your feedback and questions and comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, both of you, Vera and Elena. So coming from much broader European picture to For You Plus picture, and now I would like to talk about Charles University and what the For You Plus means for Charles University. I warned you before, I am going to talk a bit about the past, but the main purpose of it is to show the role of Charles University from the beginning. And what you can read here, that the first contacts about the 4 founding universities started at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. We were wanted bride because when the idea of European University Alliances was launched, and it was obvious that there must be universities from different parts of Europe, Charles University, as the leading university of Central Europe, was very much wanted, but Charles University decided to join Sorbonne University and Heidelberg University and, of course, Warsaw University because of our previous cooperation. And during 2018, the project and the proposal was prepared, and Charles University, as it was quite rare because usually associations, ministries were involved in formation of the call, but there were a few universities present, and Charles University was one of them, as the only one from Central Eastern Europe. So you see, at least we were there as a stakeholder. So the picture is from the signing of the declaration for EU alliance at Sorbonne, and there are 3 rectors and 1 vice rector, but because the rector was busy with some other traveling. So now, as you heard, we are 8 universities, 4 flagships, 4 strategic domains, and we are working for EU. This is what Vera said. We have to think what we can do for European unity, for European Union, but also for you, for the growth of our personalities, because what I think is our main task is to prepare to educate European citizens, and then researchers, educators, but first of all citizens. And we want to grow together. So what I also want to stress that we have a goal where to go. We heard that now we even have a strategy for the years 2025, 2035, but we are using different opportunities. It was, I think, quite impressive to see all projects or European projects we are involved in, but there are also projects at national level, like NAVA with Polish government. We are very happy, and now I am greeting representatives from the Ministry of Education who are here present for the contribution of member states, but also we co-finance all other activities, so that there is a big commitment of Charles University for U+. What I think is also important that thanks to For You+, we play the role, that we are active. We are involved in many debates. Here I have European degree, which, as you can see in the documents, also Leta had it in his program, that key role will be for European degree. And we have the best European expert in the room, Josef Matoušek here, who is serving as an advisor for member states, for European Commission even, and the For You+ is giving us platform to shape also European educational research policies. Then also what is a value added, and I think it was not mentioned yet, that thanks to our member, Geneva University, non-EU member, we have an access to bigger outreach, not only at European, national, local level, but also at international level via international organizations. It was wonderful to listen to Khaled Ismail on Monday. Yes, here he is. On Monday at Management Committee when he spoke about the project between Flagship 1 and World Health Organization. I am sure you will share your experiences in our further debates. So the membership in 4U+ gives us more opportunities to participate, to have an access to much more grants, but also to grow. I think that we are growing together, but what I can also say, what I see, that we are growing inside. We look at our student community, how students are involved, how they are learning, that many opportunities given to our researchers, educators, but also administrative staff. I had a chance to see and follow my colleagues and at administration who are working on everyday basis with their counterparts at all 7 universities. And I see them really growing and flourishing. And this is very encouraging, and thank you for that. When we were speaking last week about forming European degree, creating projects, then what is essential and the beginning of all of these things is mutual trust, because it takes time. I was sharing my experience about coordinating the first joint degree, now we would say European degree at Charles University, which was coordinated by Charles University. It took years of meetings, hundreds of coffees we drank together to establish the trust, to form the project, and then there was this complicated process of accreditation. But look now, and we will hear in later how much easier it is now, because within 4U+ there is a mutual trust, there is an understanding, there is a cooperation about administration, so the whole procedure is much quicker and more efficient. And it's nice to see our rectors in the middle, students, staff, and colleagues, that we are really friends, we are community. So I think what is essential there, that together we can achieve more than we ever could alone, and there are some possibilities, opportunities which we can tackle. And what I think also was the essential message we brought with Elena from last week meeting in Brussels, that alliances are now crucial for the further development of innovation, of education and research, and that even though that there are questions about financing, but it's pretty obvious that there is a place and that alliances will flourish in the future, and this is exciting to be a part of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies. I think there would be a lot of interesting points to react on. First, I didn't want to mention it aloud, but when you were speaking about what we can do for the EU, I think there is a nice analogy that we wanted to brought here today. We don't want you to ask what For You Plus can do for you, but what you can do for what we all can do for You Plus.
Are there any questions, like quick questions in the audience?
And we can allow for a very short reaction or question.
If not, that's fine. There will be a Q&A session at the end. And since we're a little bit late, I think it's glad that you didn't ask now, but then there will be time. And as we always say, For You Plus is not just a project. It's a process, a vision, and a long-term commitment.
I think you would agree. So thank you very much again. So now with the political and strategical dimension outline, let's move to a practical look where we will see how these visions translate to concrete opportunities. We will take a look how we are building For You Plus educational framework, how we support mobility, and how we advance research.
Let's now hear from those who are working behind the scenes to bring the For You Plus vision to life, our colleagues from the CU Rectorate.
I would like to welcome Julia Hubeňáková, Head of European Centre, member of the For You Plus Working Group Education, coordinator of One Core Work Package 3, focused on research-based education. Tereza Vosejpková, member of Working Group Mobility, leader of the For You Plus Task Force on Shared Courses.
And I would like to ask Jakub Homolka, Head of Department of Quality and Education and Accreditations, member of the For You Plus Group of Experts on Quality Assurance, and Karolína Šedivcová, Head of the For You Plus Local Office, and least but not last, Adela Jeroutková, Head of the Research Support Office.
So I know each of you could share countless of personal stories and experiences from working in and for You Plus.
Unfortunately, that's not enough time for that today. And in the spirit of a snapshot approach, we'll ask you very briefly to highlight some key research, some key aspects of what is being developed. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear us. Good morning again. It's my pleasure to speak to you about the developments in For You Plus education and about our For You Plus flagships. And this discussion will again narrow down from the big picture again. So you've heard about the For You Plus strategy for about our plan for next 10 years. And one of the domain is the domain education. And I would like to today show you what is For You Plus education, how we approach the education, how it is created actually. And I'm sorry, I will. So first of all, we perceive For You Plus education as a model, as a environment, and we have a lot of key components that are building this environment. One of it is a framework. It's the completing of the processes, methodologies, and this gives us the structure. Then we have the educational components. This is our content. These are shared courses, joint study programs, micro-credentials, and any other educational offer we can create together or share. We have, of course, IT infrastructures because digitalization is a key. And we now work with Student Portal, where students are able to find the educational offer of For You Plus and navigate their personalized way of education. We have lifelong learning that play a role, of course, and For You Plus quality to ensure that we are excellent in education. You will hear more about that. And to support this model, we are using following work methods. We share, we co-create, we pilot, we facilitate, we embed, and we consolidate. And in the past years, we experienced a lot regarding the education, and we tried to, thanks to one of the Erasmus Plus project, pilot it on the For You Plus flagships. You know that For You Plus flagships are thematic areas, but behind those thematic areas, there are people. And each of the flagship is officially represented by their coordinators. But of course, there are more people engaged. Also on the official level, there are 2 representatives from each university. Charles University is, of course, represented in all 4 flagships. But again, this is not limited to those officials. Flagships are communities, and these are the people that meet together, work together, and have the common goal to tackle the challenges of today. Nevertheless, whether it's a climate change or health or Europeanness, they meet together and they work. And to best present what are 4U+ flagships in action, or maybe to show you where the doors are open, this is kind of sneak peek into the activities we are now running this academic year. And I will just shortly describe some of them. So we have, within the flagship 1, we have Migration and Health group. You will hear more about it today, later. We have group working on topic of inclusive cities. They are now working on Marie Skłodowska-Curie Action's doctoral network to support our PhD students. There is also a group working on disabilities, preparing summer schools and preparing some research projects. We have very successful project Meta UN, which is our 4U+ global outreach project, which aims to create strong ties with United Nations ecosystem. So this is where our partner University of Geneva came in and gave us the opportunity to be very close to the organizations settled in Geneva. We have Urban Health Case Challenge and, for example, ITT integrative think tank activities. These are activities prepared by the flagships and students for the students to try to solve real-world problems. So students get the lectures and then they meet together. Of course, industry partners and business partners are involved, and they give the case challenge to the students, ask them for solutions, and then the partners from business or non-academic sphere work with those solutions that are brought by the students. And we have MOOCs. We have MOOC on data literacy, we have MOOC on European citizenships, and other MOOCs are under preparation. We have joint master programs. Some are already running, some are under preparation. Again, you will hear maybe later more about. We have in the future, we will have master in AI, master in biodiversity, or mathematics and application. Every flagships also work on their PhD workshops to create environment where PhD students, PhD candidates meet with senior researchers to discuss their research topics, to be involved and to learn about how to speak about their research findings, how to, or what kind of skills and competencies need to be successful in their future research career. And I will finalize with a new project, FabLab Hub, which is a network of labs that provides public access to the modern technologies. So this is a very open project for people that could test their research initiatives. They use the technology, and they are given the methodologies and the support from experienced people, and also this is very much connected to the innovation and to the startups we could bring also on place in the Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to welcome you once again. But as Julia gave you the overview of the, let's say, activities or ideas, I would go a bit more, or I will be a bit more concrete with the activities and show you some of the tools or possibilities how to cooperate and what to develop within the 4EU+. The first I want to present is the 4EU+ student portal. That is actually quite a new tool. You can see it as a website, let's say. where we present the learning opportunities for all 4EU Plus students and probably also for the staff sometime in the future, but this is still an undergoing process. And as you can see here, I put a link of like the official site in production, but also the test version, because every semester, every academic year, the site is being developed. So currently there is the offer for the students, including the virtual mobility or courses for virtual mobility, which I'm going to talk a bit later. And also slowly coming up, the joint courses, which mean the activities that were developed within the 4EU Plus for all students. Also, there's planned to be the mobility guidelines, which means the overview of all possible mobilities within 4EU Plus, including Erasmus framework, including 4EU Plus possibilities, including every possible funding within each partner university. As you can imagine, it's quite complex. Also, there will be housing options, which means students going on mobility can just go to this website and see what's available for them. This will be under the login site, so available only to 4EU Plus students, not for anyone else. And also, which I see quite important, is that they are already being developed, but still not on in a production. There are going to be learning tools, which are the courses for students, self-paced, let's say, and they can develop soft skills important for them to be able to study successfully at the partner universities. Another activity is the shared courses, which was already mentioned. Those are the courses offered to 4EU Plus students for free, and they are offered online, which means they are taught at the partner universities, completely online or in a hybrid form. Those students wanting to attend them just need to log into the system, send an application, and just stay at their place and follow the courses online. The courses are quite successful. Within the last, or under it, we have already more than 1,000 courses till the last academic year, because time for this academic year, or numbers for this academic year, are still not available, and almost 2,000 students. And you can see how the course actually look like at the student portal, just on the main page. New activity are the BIPs, running currently within the Erasmus program, and we decided to adopt them also under the 4EU Plus framework. Those are the activities that bring together online and in-person mobility with at least 3 partner universities, which is quite similar to all 4EU Plus activities, even outside the Erasmus funding. We decided to do a pilot call, which is currently available and running till the end of, oh, sorry, I put in March, but it's till the end of April, including the 5-day physical mobility with online not defined, and at least 15 participants. Here it's important to say that we need to have in mind that the University of Geneva, since it's Switzerland, is not completely part of the Erasmus program, so funding is a bit difficult, but it's completely new activity available to all 4EU Plus students, and also students of Geneva will be funded within the University of Geneva funding. This activity is available to all previously funded projects, so it means that if you already had any activity under the mini grant seed, educational projects, and so on, this is available also to you. And the important thing is that this is not run by particular universities, but really on the alliance level. So also the evaluation will be covered with 4EU Plus bodies, with the importance of positives for 4EU Plus. And the last information from me is on curricula comparison workshops, which is the activity some of you is already undergoing. And this activity brings together academics and administrative staff of particular study areas together to discuss not only the curricula and their mutual compatibility, but also way how to cooperate, how to bring students and academics from that study fields together, how to cooperate in education, in research, of course, increase mobility, build the 4EU+ community as such. And like any study area can undergo this, we are currently having languages, humanities, social sciences, law, natural sciences, geology and geography was one of the first, and also medicine, which is considered one of the most complicated way or area to cooperate in terms of mobilities. And that was all from my side.
So, hello everybody. Since I work at the Department of Quality of Education and Accreditations, my task is to introduce you to so-called 4EU+ quality. Well, as Lenka Rovna mentioned, the important part of the alliance is mutual trust. And the mutual trust is also the basis of 4EU+ quality, because we recognize, all the universities recognize our own internal quality assurance systems. So we recognize and respect our quality assurance systems that we have, and the point is that we don't want to change the internal quality assurance systems of each university. But concerning the joint and shared activities, educational activities that were mentioned before, we built an extra add-on our quality assurance system, some extra level, which is focused on these common 4EU+ activities, and that's called the 4EU+ quality. As you can see, it is a whole cycle, which is, of course, based on the 4EU+ strategic goals. And that should be the basis of the creation of the common or joint or shared activities. And then, and that is important, we have already started the process of collecting the data, especially the student surveys and key performance indicators concerning these activities. I will come back to this at the end of my speech. But now I would just underline that also the collection of the data is based on the 4EU+ strategic goals. Many of them were mentioned before. Maybe I would just underline the 5 crucial skills or competencies such as multilingualism or entrepreneurship. So the 4EU+ quality is also focused on these criteria, on these strategic goals. On the basis of this data collection, then each university is preparing university reflection report. These reports are then collected, and as you can see on the picture, in the first step of the internal auditing, there is academic council, and academic council is evaluating these university reflection reports from each of the university and preparing, and the council prepares its own report. Then this report is also evaluated by the management committee, and there is a final report by management committee, including recommendations. And that is also very important, we also have an external part in this cycle. It's called external reviewing board, and the external reviewing board evaluates all the data and all the reports I mentioned before, and they prepare their own report. Maybe I should mention that this external reviewing board is composed of five experts, including 2 students who are external to all our universities, and they play some kind of the role of some kind of critical friends. So they prepare their own report and own recommendations, and finally the alliance is working with these recommendations, and and enhancing its strategy goals and its procedures and its activities in general. So this is the whole 4U plus quality cycle that I tried to introduce to you in brief. And what I wanted to underline in the end of my speech is the importance for us of the data collection, namely the student surveys. Each university is collecting two types of student surveys. First of them is focused on the students who go abroad to one of our partner universities, at least for 2 months. And the second one is concerning our activities that are happening here at our university or at each of the universities. So now it's mostly in the shared or joint courses, but now we also have the joint programs. So the surveys will be focused also on the joint programs. But the important is, or what I wanted to underline is that these surveys are very important for us, and in the last runs we were more or less piloting these surveys. But now we want to go farther, and one of our goals is to increase the number of responses to our surveys. So I wanted to use this session as an opportunity to encourage those of you who are taking part in our joint or shared courses to feel free and to join the surveys and to give us the answers that we need. And I would also like to encourage to ask the teachers or those of you who are teaching at these courses to encourage your students to take part in these surveys, because they are a very important part of our system, and we need these responses from our students. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I was pointed out that I should make it quite faster than I was ready for. So my part was supposed to introduce you to our project schemes that the 4U Plus and Charles University is proposing for the funding of projects in a research or in education domain that could be that you could actually use and apply for. So I will just go through it very fast. You will find all the relevant information on the website of the 4U Plus and also from Charles University. But basically there are two main groups of support. There is the support provided by the 4U Plus Alliance, which is for now divided between visiting professorship and seat 4U Plus. And I'm very honored and very pleased that we have 3 this year's successful visiting professors here at during today, who will give you some more information about the their projects and the activities that they are going through. And the next call will be launched within a couple of days. So please follow our website so that you can be informed. And even before 4U Plus Alliance announced and launched the project schemes that are on the Alliance levels, Charles University came up with the so-called mini grants that are focused on initiating the collaboration among the teams, because we know that if you do not have partners, it's very hard to actually find some and start working with them on a research that is in your field. So you can use the funding to actually get in touch and start collaborating with your colleagues at our partner universities. For that, we also established the 4U Plus Grant Support Service, which you can contact in case you want to collaborate with someone, you cannot find your partner, or you don't know in which project schemes you should direct your project idea. In any case, do not hesitate to contact our local office, and we will be ready to help you and assist you with any idea that can come up to your mind. Thank you.
I will be very quick.
Hello, everybody, because Tom is getting very anxious. He's hypnotizing me and tapping his watch like every 5 seconds. So I will just say this. I'm one of the 4U Plus dinosaur. I stick with this alliance since 2017 when we were actually a very small group of people pushing things together. So it's really nice to see this slide where you can see how 4U Plus over the past years grown horizontally and vertically, that we have massive support staff unit, that we have a coordination unit at the rectorate who is meeting every month, and because the activities are getting so wide that we have to coordinate, we have many 4U Plus bodies where our academics and students are present and can influence what is going on within the alliance. We have vice rectors on board for vice rectors for study affairs, for international relations, for research. And last but not least, the rectors engaged very heavily, meeting very often, every Monday morning before when everybody actually sleeps, so that they are meeting and discussing how to push the alliance forward. So thank you very much for being part. Thank you very much for coming, because I think it's really great how many people are now involved and influencing what is going on within the alliance. And I'm very proud on my team on 4U Plus local office. And I'm very proud of what we already have achieved in the alliance. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's really always nice to see how much the community is growing and how many groups and people are involved. So today we will hear from some representatives of some of the groups, but unfortunately there is not enough space to give the floor to everyone.
Unfortunately, there's also not space for questions now, but at the end, at the session, no need to worry.
Let's hope, because we are really behind the schedule. Thank you so much.
Now we can pass the floor to our next speaker, Adam Martinek. He's a PhD student at the Faculty of Science and 4U Plus student ambassador.
I wanted to share a little behind the scenes. Maybe I will do it before Adam comes. Adam told me last week that he wouldn't be able to come because he mixed the dates. And I was a bit panicking because I felt it would be such a pity to lose his insight, because he is one of the most active students and he is embracing almost all 4U Plus opportunities. And Adam,
I'm really glad that you made it, and if you can ask to share with us your journey.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. As Christina said, I really try to embrace all the opportunities that 4EU Plus gives us as students, and I will speak a little bit about what I have experienced with 4EU Plus, how it helped me grow, and what I think could help other students have the same experiences as me, or even better ones. And I'll try to do it as quickly as possible, since you are all hoping for a coffee break and having some nice coffee and breakfast, perhaps. All right, how does this? Beautiful. So, as I was introduced, I am currently a PhD student in social geography. I'm in my third year, and as such, I'm a little bit trapped between the worlds of students and academic staff. Nonetheless, I'll speak more about my experience as a student with 4EU Plus. Well, so the key question is, how can we make the most out of 4EU Plus? So you have some time to think about it, and I'll try to answer it towards the end. My first experience with the Alliance was in 2020. I was a member of a student committee at the Faculty of Education, and together with student senators, we had a Facebook group, and somebody posted a link to the 4EU Plus website and was like, oh, what's this? Another initiative that Charles University is part of? What does it mean? What does it do for us? We didn't have a clue, frankly. Also, it was during COVID, so we didn't really care all that much, but the name stuck with me. And it was very interesting because I didn't only see Charles University, but also Sorbonne, Copenhagen, and so on. So it stuck with me. And a year and a half later, I saw the Urban Health Case Challenge. This was still during COVID restrictions, so we weren't able to go to Heidelberg and participate, but it was my first introduction to these collaborative courses held across universities with some real-world impact. We were supposed to work on a case for the city of Mannheim and improving community living in Mannheim and community health. A few months later, in March 2022, again, we were able to finally go for our first in-person event with the Alliance. This was in Warsaw. It was the Urban Regulations and Political Memory, or whatever the long name of the course is. And it was my first very exciting experience where I could meet other students from other universities and participate together on our own student conference and share our ideas about urban development and how it relates to politics in our countries. Then it was Heidelberg, similar topic, again, on urban development, resilient cities, and it was frankly one of the best trips of my life. We did learn something as well, but also I made a lot of friends, and the weather was great, the university was wonderful, and there was apparently a rainbow painted tank in the city for some reason. We got to visit a lot of sites which the public doesn't get to see, a lot of new urban development zones and old ones. And then came another type of experience with the Alliance. I took part in the European Student Assembly. While this is not directly an event organized by the Alliance, it is an event organized at the European level for the alliances. So for those who are not fortunate enough to be students at universities like ours, they cannot participate in these types of events. Then I went to Paris again for another Resilient Cities, this time focusing on more sustainable development and transforming old urban development zones into more sustainable living spaces. And last year, I was again blessed with the opportunity to be a panel coordinator at the European Student Assembly and coordinating the panel on inclusive higher education in Europe, which is a topic I think dear to many of you as well. And then finally, this autumn, also taking part in the European Student Ambassadors Forum, where we discussed how to make things better in the alliances for students such as ourselves. But what you didn't see in those slides are some of the barriers that we as students had to face while participating. There were hundreds of hours that went into researching what courses I could take, writing cover letters, traveling, studying, and most of the courses were elective ones. They weren't really something I had to do to complete my degree. It was completely up to me, and it took a lot of time and a lot of effort. And you might have also noticed that all of the courses were mostly related to my field of expertise. They were related to geography and to my study degree in some way. So this also gave me a much higher chance of getting accepted and participating fully. So when I really think about it, and I think about what we can do for our students and how to make things much more accessible, we have already seen examples of this. While I first started taking these courses, it was mostly word of mouth, and it was very accidental that I would stumble across a course that I could take. Now we have the student portal, now we have a lot of the academic staff involved in the Alliance, and this really creates an environment where everyone could participate more thoroughly and find courses and find opportunities to grow with the Alliance and participate in all the different activities across all of our member universities. But really, accessibility, I think, is the key word, and inclusivity. And this can only be achieved, in my opinion, by more and more people participating. So more events like these, more academic staff, more students, more everyone basically taking part in the Alliance and growing together, I guess. So thank you very much. And yeah, I guess there's going to be a Q&A session, and you can also catch me during the coffee break. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adam, for sharing your inspirational journey and also for being so time efficient. I wanted to ask you a question, what we could do as a community to support better student engagement, but there will be time to discuss it in the afternoon session. So I just wanted to thank you to really also give back to the community for being the student ambassador and promote the opportunities as widely as you can.
That concludes the first part of the morning. A huge thanks to all of our speakers for their inspiring insights. And now it's time for a short break. Grab a coffee, connect with familiar and new faces. And don't forget our engagement wall in the foyer. We will start again at 10:45.
We will give you 5 more minutes extra. It says 10:40, but 10:45.
10:45 here. Thank you. Welcome back. We hope you had a chance to recharge and connect during the break. Our next block is dedicated to a topic that's already proved to be a hot topic within 4U+ and beyond, joint study programs.
Creating joint study programs is one of the key ambitions of the Alliance. They're a powerful tool for deepening collaboration between universities, but they also offer students unique opportunities for truly European education. We are sure that this session will bring inspiration and practical guidance, especially for those of you who might be considering a similar path.
In this session, we will hear a hands-on example of a joint master's program created within 4U+, get practical insights on how to approach the process and what support is available at CU, and we will learn about the broader European perspective, including the European Degree Initiative.
Please welcome our speakers, Mirna Jusic, Associate Professor at the Department of Public and Social Policy from the Faculty of Social Sciences. Her research interests are in the realm of social policy. She has been involved in the administrative preparation of Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters in European Environmental Economics and Policy within 4U+.
The next speaker is Tomáš Hodač, Joint Study Programs Consultant, from Department of Quality and Education and Accreditations. And last but not least is Josef Matoušek, University Consultant for Erasmus Mundus and European Degree. He was also 4U+ representative in the ED AFIC project, and he continues to be involved actively in the policy discussion about the European degree.
The floor is yours, and Tomáš Hodač is not the first to speak, so you're here. Okay, sorry, I have maybe thought that you're still somewhere at the break. So thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. It is really an honor to be here today. Okay, so I will use the time to tell you very quickly about how we developed a joint master's as part of the 4EU+ Alliance. This is the program that I'm presenting today. It is M3EP, that's what we call it, but it's an Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters in European Environmental Economics and Policy. It involves Charles University, University of Copenhagen, Heidelberg University, University of Milan, and University of Warsaw. And this is actually the website of the program, which is hosted on our 4EU+ website. The program structure is such that the students first attend their first year at the University of Copenhagen, and then they decide on a track, either in economics or policy, at one of the partner university for their second year. As Charles University, we offer the specialization policies and politics of the green transition, which is implemented by the Faculty of Social Sciences, more specifically the Institute of Sociological Studies, where I work, and also the Institute of Political Studies. So how it all started. Basically, back in the day, 5 years ago, we had a 4EU Plus first call for educational projects. And some professors with similar interests from these universities got together, and they decided to suggest a summer, or actually a winter or spring school that was called European School of Environmental Economics and Policy, or EUCEEP. And out of it emerged this two 4EU Plus spring schools, one in 2021 and one in 2022. And you see here a photo of the students in Copenhagen in 2022. The school was called The Making of EU Environmental Regulation. And after the second spring school, the professors and everybody who was involved, they were very encouraged by the results and by the student response. And they thought about then creating a joint master's out of this initiative. So this was the first board in Copenhagen in 2022, where they were kind of brainstorming the ideas. How could this joint master's program look like? What happened then was actually, it took 2 years, but it was really, really quick. So in September 2022, we had a partner meeting here in Prague, and we reached an agreement to submit Erasmus Mundus joint master application to the European Commission, which is, as you probably know, a very ambitious call and a selective call. In the fall of 2022, the University of Copenhagen decided to take on the lead. They're very experienced in this realm, and they decided that, yes, we will be the coordinator of this initiative. In spring 2023 onwards, we were setting up and we initiated regular project group meetings. And in the meantime, also seed funding was secured to actually prepare this application from Seed for EU Plus, which definitely allowed us to travel and meet each other and work on this application, and also the Erasmus Mundus design measures from the European Commission. In October 2023, we had a very productive partner meeting in Copenhagen, where we were deciding on the key features of the program and application preparation process. And then with intensive preparation, we finally submitted the application for the Erasmus Mundus funding in February of 2024. At the same time, here at Charles University, we initiated a local accreditation process of an MA in Environmental Economics and Policy. So that also had to take place in this very short period of time. And then in July 2024, we received the best news that actually our application was a success, and we got close to 5 million euros from the European Commission for this Erasmus Mundus scholarship scheme. Most of it goes to the students to finance their studies through scholarships, right? And then we already launched the first call for applications as of November 2024. So it had to be prepared very, very quickly. And this is just from the Copenhagen meeting, where we were really working intensely. But I can now show you the preliminary data. So in total, we had 765 applicants for this program, 535 from non-EU countries, 230 from EU countries. And out of those, there were, of course, some that were missing some documents. So what was sent for academic evaluation was 322 applications for non-EU, and 195 will be sent for EU countries. So a total of over 500 applications will be evaluated. And these are, what I understand from my colleagues from Copenhagen, also very good numbers. They have a lot of experience with Erasmus Mundus joint degrees and joint programs, and definitely they said that this is a great start. So some of the lessons, I will be very quick here. The importance of piloting a joint idea through the spring school. That was very important because we had joint cooperation. We got to see how different classes are held, how people are teaching, what kind of research they're engaged in. There was also a willingness among the partners to cooperate on a regular basis, really to meet, even if there wasn't much going on at a specific moment, and really do it in a systematic way. At Charles University, we also recognize the importance of really efficient cooperation and also legal support coming from the rectorate. During the accreditation process, also when signing the cooperation agreement. So luckily, this was a fast process and there weren't any major hurdles here. So that was positive. And really what I want to stress is the importance of an experienced leader, in this case, the University of Copenhagen, in the application process, but also in rolling out the program implementation. And I can say that there is a lot of opportunity for learning there from each other. Thank you very much.
So, good morning, everyone. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tomáš Hodač. I'm a Joint Study Programs Consultant at the Central Office of the University. And from the perspective of creating one specific joint study program, I will now proceed to a little bit different perspective, which is a little bit, let's say, more general and focused on our services which we provide at the Department of Quality of Education and Accreditations. First of all, I would like to get started with a few key elements of joint study programs and how we understand them here at Charles University to, let's say, give the overall framework and to understand what these programs entail. Joint study programs should be understood as units that are jointly designed, coordinated, and implemented. They are realized or implemented by 2 or more universities, and each of these partner universities contribute by their academic strengths to create one integrated and cohesive curriculum. The program is delivered based on joint decision-making, in which each partner university has a say on the outcome of any important aspect or moment of the program, including admissions and final exams. Joint programs, as general, lead to various types of degrees, depending on whether they are awarded and issued by all partners together as a joint degree, as a single document, or whether they are awarded separately and individually by each institution. Joint study programs also represent, or they lead to a high level of cooperation because they require, let's say, high integration on many levels of the institutions, including academic, institutional, and administrative areas. When I move on to the process of creation of joint study programs, specifically at Charles University, I'd like to highlight two key elements or two foundation stones joint study programs are based on. This is a partnership agreement which details all important aspects of the future collaboration, and study program accreditation, which is a process that has to be done in accordance with national legislation in each country where this program is going to be implemented. In our case, the quality assurance process is done through accreditation, which is granted by the Internal Evaluation Board. But before this stage of receiving accreditation, before this stage is reached, it's quite a long process, it's quite a long way. And our Department of Quality of Education Accreditations provides the faculty with methodological and legal advice throughout the whole time. This is to help them, of course, to help them navigate the way of the individual stages, and also to ensure alignment with the institutional standards. Now, development of a new joint study program should be coordinated with our Department of Quality of Education and Accreditations right from the beginning, right from the moment when the first initiative is planned. And at that moment, we hold one or more meetings to discuss the overall scope and objectives of the program. And the goal is basically to identify the right framework which will suit the intentions of the faculty on one hand, and also the institutional environment on the other. So we need to find always the right way to go, which will basically satisfy the two parties. When some more details have been defined on the way, the partners proceed to drafting an agreement, the partnership agreement I talked about. And this is quite a crucial stage during the whole process, because many details have to be settled. Sometimes a compromise has to be negotiated between different approaches, different sets of rules and regulations, and the partners have to come up with one solution that will basically satisfy all the parties involved. During this process, our department is heavily involved through the review process, in which we give feedback to each version of the draft, and we review it both for the legal matters and the conceptual framework of the agreement as such. When the agreement is concluded and everything is negotiated successfully, the last portion of the process, the last stage, is the accreditation procedure. But since for joint programs, this is not really considerably different than the procedure which regular study programs have to undergo, I will not go into details of that. Instead, I will just move on to talk very briefly about the framework of joint study programs within the Alliance. As it's been said before, joint activities and synergic activities in the Alliance play an important role. And there is a lot of emphasis on the synergic effect of that. And joint programs play really, are an important tool, to achieve these ambitious goals and strategies, especially in education and research. And generally, it's much easier to build partnerships within the Alliance, thanks to the existing infrastructure thanks to workshops on curricular comparison. There are also procedures which are very well streamlined, and also financial incentives to promote new forms of collaborations, including new joint study programs. Right now, there are 3 joint study programs running within the Alliance. You've heard in detail about the first one, Master in European Environmental Economics and Policy. The second one, Migration Studies and New Societies, is a program that has been running successfully for the 2nd year now. And Master in Global Environment and Development is a program which was the first one within the Alliance, which received Erasmus Mundus funding. Charles University is involved in the first 2 of them. And on top of that, there are, of course, more programs which are currently under development, which include those in biodiversity, artificial intelligence, and so on. So that brought me to the end of my presentation. So thank you very much for your time and attention. And if you've got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them later. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. Even from me, it's still a morning. My aim is to give you a brief introduction into the topic of European degree in 5 minutes, which is quite a tall order, but let's make the best out of it. It's quite contested and discussed topic currently, but before delving into what it is, I'll try to give you a brief outlook into why this initiative emerged now. And to do that, I will quickly go through the most important policies which pertain to joint programs and joint degrees in the European higher education area. And it all started already in 1997 with Lisbon Recognition Convention, and then 2 years later by the launch of the Bologna process. And why this is important, excuse me, it tries to unify the legal landscape for the education to be able to be offered on transnational basis. And while the Lisbon Recognition Convention did not contain any elements that would relate to joint programs and joint degrees, this was improved in 2004 when it was amended by the recommendation on the recognition of the joint degrees. And this date, 2004, it coincides with the launch of Erasmus Mundus program under the umbrella of Erasmus Plus funding instrument. And as I guess most of you would know, this is one of the main drivers of the development and change in terms of transnational studies in Europe. Recently, the program celebrated 20 years of its existence, and it's seen as one of the prime examples of a success story of European integration. Of course, then the next step was the famous European approach for quality assurance of joint programs. And this initiative, signed by all ministers of higher education, or of the ministers which are designated to rule over higher education of the all European higher education area countries, which is nearly 50. It transcends only the member countries of EU by quite a lot. Not only it offers a joint accreditation procedure, but it also sets in stone some guidelines, principles, definitions as well, which should regulate the practice. And this was followed by the launch of European Universities Initiative, and this is one of the principal reasons why we are here today. And while all of these initiatives were remarkable in terms of the development, they still face, and we are still currently facing, this one big omnipresent issue, which is that the higher education is not regulated in Brussels, but it is regulated on the level of the regional or national stakeholders, meaning by the individual member states. So in spite of all the advancements that were made, the situation is still pretty much fragmented. And while it is very easy to have a joint program with some partners, it is almost impossible to conduct them among other collectives of universities in Europe. And one concrete example I can give you is that it is quite common to set a standard for minimal threshold for number of courses. While in other countries, there can be a set maximum amount, and this is an example which is still in existence today. And it's quite clear that if these two limits do not meet, it's impossible to legally conduct the joint program. So as a result, I just pulled a few of the initiatives, projects, and wider endeavors to facilitate the development of joint programs, which emerged in Europe in the last years. And this brings us to my main topic today. This is how European degree comes into play, because it is an overall umbrella, an attempt to unify these processes on a European level. And this started, the most recent development started in 2022 by the Council, which gave mandate to the Commission to test the criteria that would help identify these programs, which would set the standard, which we think is the minimum quality standard for these programs to be considered a European degree. The Commission then, very soon after that, launched an experimental call and invited us, the universities, stakeholders, alliances, to experiment with the criteria they provided and to see what employers think, how students see it, also what is practical for the academics. And we did, as Charles University, participated in one of the biggest projects, EDFish, which was already mentioned. We were very happy to work with colleagues from 5 other alliances. And by the end of the project, which ran for 1 full year, we gave our feedback to the Commission, which informed the blueprint for a European degree, which was a big higher education package issued in March of 2024. And so what this package brought, among other things, is the list of the criteria refined after our feedback. Of course, it was a compromise, and currently those criteria are still being refined under the Polish presidency of the Council of EU. Right as we speak, there should be a final ruling in the Educational Committee of the Council, and I think they are going to vote on the 12th of May. And until then, there are very intense discussions about these criteria. There are 16 of them. Because of time constraints, I won't go into each of them, but they can be separated roughly into 3 categories. One is designated to highlight the joint structures of the program, the management. The second one is concerned with the learning experience. And then lastly, there is a section about European values, inclusiveness, and so on and so forth. And just so you know, there are quite different opinions on how this is feasible, how you can measure it. If it is connected to quality assurance, we should have clear guidelines on what passes, what does not pass. And this is why these criterions, even though they are a result of a very big initiative of the pilot projects, they are still very much contested, and it is being discussed right now what is the correct way of how we could implement them moving forward. But to return to the earth a bit, what is very likely staying in terms of the initiative is that there are 2 main forms of how it can be implemented. And the first one is so-called European degree label. And what it is basically a quality certification which will be attached to the program once it passes the evaluation. So it might be a special certification. It might also be a logo which would be put onto the diploma or diploma supplement. Any sort of brand of excellence that would indeed formalize the compliance of the program with the joint criteria. But then there is the full-fledged version of a European degree, which in the current outlook is supposed to be a diploma, which the graduates of the said program would receive after they complete their studies. So if this plan comes to fruition, the students of transnational programs, such as those about which you just heard, would receive very nice diploma, unified and endorsed on the European level, and with, of course, some degrees of varying elements, depending on whether it is bachelor's, doctoral, master's, and so on and so forth. But these 2 options are still currently on the table. Some countries are more leaning towards just keeping it as a branding exercise of branding of excellence, while other countries push more towards adopting the full European degree and to have a new type of a diploma issued to our graduates. So to conclude, a few takeaways, I'll probably focus just on 2. One of the main misconceptions in terms of the European degree is that it would somehow change or supplement standard quality assurance procedures, which is not the case. It has never been intended to do so, and these criterions would be checked on top of the existing procedures, but for the practical reasons, it would be very likely integrated into the accreditation procedures. So those programs who would attempt to receive the label or be able to issue the degree would, during the course of their accreditation, also be checked whether they comply with the criteria. And then second, I started with a brief introduction or reiteration of the main Bologna steps and tools, and this should not be seen as some sort of competition to them. Neither it should be seen as a competition to European funding schemes such as under Erasmus Plus or Horizon Europe. It is supposed to be an extension and another way forward, another step which should take or facilitate the development of education in line with what we heard in the morning from Professor Rovna and Vice Rector Jourova in terms of being able to combine our expertise. But I know this is a very highly contested topic. There is many technical discussions happening about the processes and about all sorts of things connected to the implementation. So if you do have any remaining questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me anytime today or even after. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing all the practical experience, institutional support, and also shedding light on the European policy development. I know it's a very hot topic, so I think we need to allow a space for a question if there is one. If there is not, even better.
Look around the room. I can see Ms. Martinkova, Charles University Vice Director for Education. Ms. Martinkova, would you like to share a few words with us? The floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity to say hello, all the famous or familiar faces to me. It's a great honor to be with you and say hello and see you again. So I have a dream. It's great if there is some common European, or if there are some common European rules and regulation for the higher education institutions, operation processes. After that, it's much easier to work on any joint programs or any summer school or whatever. So it's a great, it's a very important dream. And in spite of that, we don't have the common regulation, and our nations of all that 9 or 8 universities are from countries with different higher education rules and regulation. In spite of that, we are able to work on some common education and some levels of cooperation. So it's great, and I really admire the effort we are able to do in the European University Alliance. And also the European label is something what could be a way of how we can handle it. So we have to handle it somehow. And the dream, my dream is, or our dream is coming through by the agenda of micro-credentials. Is something very close to my heart. The course is leading to micro-credentials, and it's something we are on the way of preparing the rules, European rules, how to handle it. So it's something what make me happy that we can be able to really educate our students in a common or in a cooperative way. So good luck to all of us, and I hope my dream come true somehow fully. So, and welcome to this meeting, and I'm happy to see you all today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you as well. You can stay, but you're free. You're free now. Thank you very much. Let's move forward with another amazing speaker and very active member of For You Plus community, who has been involved in various projects and activities.
Please join me in welcoming Khalid Ismail. Khalid is Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the Faculty of Medicine in Pilsen. He is the Chair of the European Peers Group, Coordinator of 4 Global Plus Migration and Health Group, and active member of the 4EU Plus Academic Council.
And in the presentation titled The Plus Side of 4EU Plus, Khaled will share and reflect on his experience collaborating in international teams, be it from the global health initiatives or as leader of the subgroup of Academic Council of Artificial Intelligence. So Khaled, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Christina and Tomasz, for this very kind introduction. It's a real honor to be here. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through a couple of initiatives I've been asked to share with you to reflect on what has happened, but also to hopefully highlight the plus side of the 4EU Plus. So these 2 initiatives, one of them, as Christina mentioned, was what we call the 4 Global Plus. And this is an initiative that started from Flagship 1, which I'm not a member of the committee, but I'm linked to Flagship 1 in view of my profession and most of our activities. And the second initiative is related to a working group in artificial intelligence. And this stemmed out of the Academic Council, which I have been a member of since 2023. Talking about the first initiative, in January last year, in this amazing building, just 1 floor up, we had our first workshop with this 4 Global Plus group. And this started from a meeting that I attended in January with the Flagship 1, where it became very evident that global health is really quite a big strength within the partner universities of the 4EU Plus. However, there wasn't really a mechanism available in these short meetings to bring everybody together and think how we can build on that and what particular area of global health. Charles University, as you all know, have an amazing opportunity called the mini grants. And mini grants are small grants, but the good thing about them is that they keep you focused because you have to sort out everything within a few months' time. And we decided to utilize one of these mini grants and create this 4 Global Plus group of 8 members from different partner universities. We had our first meeting here in Prague, and the idea was to have a workshop to try and bring ideas together from the different partner universities. We used different methodologies. We used some generative AI, thematic analysis. We used some focus group discussions, and based on that, we highlighted 4 broad areas that seemed to be areas of strengths for us. But of course, dealing with 4 areas at the same time is really quite tricky. And the second workshop was a workshop where we prioritized these areas using a Delphi methodology. And based on that, migration and health came as on top of this list of areas that we seem to have really a big strength on. The third workshop, which was funded as part of this, was with the WHO. But before we went that, we wanted to convince ourselves and the 4EU Plus that actually migration and health fits nicely within the research strategy of the 4EU Plus, which at that time has been developed and almost finalized. Now it is, actually, of course. And this is the 10-year strategy, 2025-2035. And the 3 big areas that I've highlighted here in bold, the interdisciplinary collaboration, global outreach, societal impact. I'm sure you can all agree that migration and health fits all these items perfectly. And of course, if we have time, we can discuss this in more detail later on. The third workshop was the workshop with the WHO, where we went there to tell them what we found out about migration and health and how we can work with them. And this is an image of from the WHO document on migration and health about the 3 core research themes and the 2 cutting research themes that they decided beforehand are important priorities for them. We were able to put this figure in the center of what was already happening in relation to migration and health within our partner universities. And these are different amazing projects that are already ongoing. And to be honest, the WHO just looked at this slide. Of course, it was not that busy. We had to present it over a long time. And they were really quite impressed. They came out and they thought, it would be good actually to collaborate together. This day is about growth, and certainly over a few months as part of this mini grant, our little small group has grown significantly, as you can see in a few weeks' time. And only 48 hours ago, we've been talking to the management committee, as Professor Rovner mentioned this morning, because the WHO want to maybe hopefully formalize some form of a collaboration with the 4EU+, and they're interested in the 4EU+, not in partner universities. Of course, partner universities within the 4EU+, but they want the agreement to be with the alliance itself. But another important thing that we've done, and this is the structure of the 4EU+, for those of you who are not familiar with it, forget about the bold arrows. These are arrows that I have added. So without the arrows, it looks much prettier, but the arrows are just there to show how we made sure we communicated with all the different elements that we could communicate with as part of developing this project. So this project was not only about us sitting in a room talking about science and possible educational programs. We made sure that the message is conveyed to the different layers of the 4EU+ at an early stage. The second initiative I wanted to mention is this working group on AI. And as a member of the Academic Council, our chair, when we started, he asked if we have any ideas we can bring forward to the table so that the Academic Council, if they prioritize it, they can produce an opinion paper about it. And at that time, I suggested AI because it was the beginning of 2023. ChatGPT was launched only a few weeks before that. It was the fastest growing application on mobile applications. And of course, it was like a tsunami hitting us from everywhere. However, our aim, because AI is such a big topic, our aim, which is clearly stated here, was to develop something about generative AI, not every form of AI, something related to academia, so both research and education, and something that involves both students and teachers. So not only students, because at many times when we talk about AI, we sort of are pointing fingers against students as if they're the ones using AI, but we are there to just catch them. But of course, this was never the intention. The working group comprised of members from the Academic Council from different universities. We asked them if to express their interest to join. I made sure that it's a representative group. It had also students and academics as well as administrators. And we had specifically said that it will only happen over 4 meetings. We put the agenda for each of these meetings, a broad agenda, at the beginning of the work. So everybody was very clear. We had very clear structure of what is going to happen, what is going to be reviewed at university level, what's going to be reviewed at 4EU+ level, and what's going to be reviewed at an international level. And based on that, we were able to produce a document that till now, actually, a year and a half down the line, still actually stands very well as a guidance to students and teachers within the 4EU+, and my understanding it has also been used and spread out to outside of our partner universities as an example of good practice. Again, the same figure I showed you before, the arrows are different, starting from a different corner, but again, we made sure that we communicated all this information to everybody. This is the structure of the document. You don't need to do it. So these 2 initiatives are very different, but they are actually quite similar. In my opinion, why they worked? They worked because the team selected themselves. We didn't really force anybody to come on board. So the enthusiasm was there. It was also a representative team. So whatever we produce was going to be believed by everybody because everybody was part of it. It had a very clear aim. Every time we had a meeting, we put this slide of the aim at the beginning so that we don't lose focus. It had very strict timeline, and this is really quite important if you want to deliver. There was also a sense of ownership. This was for EU+, this was ours. This was not Sorbonne or Charles or any other university. And of course, we've maintained communication all the time because there are things happening in the background, and it's important to know what is going on. So the plus side of the 4EU+, if we did not have the 4EU+, for us to do any of these initiatives, it would have entailed a huge amount of work and cost and everything else. But, and this is a slide that was the last slide in my presentation to the WHO, the 4EU+, we say it's 8 universities, but they are actually 8 top universities that are in 7 really quite crucial European countries. I mean, all countries are crucial, but these countries are really quite iconic. They have access to healthcare facilities and hospitals that care for a huge number of patients, that can test any intervention we want to test very quickly and effectively. It truly has a global outreach outside Europe to Asia, to Africa, and to the East Mediterranean region. We have amazing multidisciplinary teams, multiple faculties. We have also organizational commitment from each partner university. And most importantly, we have already established community networks within these universities. So talking about growth, to finish off, has things been growing for me when it comes to the 4EU+? Certainly my email inbox has grown so much over the past few years in relation to the 4EU+. And also I feel truly that my responsibilities within the 4EU+ have grown. It started with an educational course, workshop, or a summer school, and now actually I feel it is actually much bigger than this. And with the responsibility comes impact, and this is something good, undoubtedly. And also, I remember the first annual meeting I attended was in Heidelberg, and I only knew 1 or 2 people. And in the last annual meeting, you go there, and it's an amazing event. You know, lots of people. So now I know lots of colleagues, which make these meetings really a great networking opportunity. But for me, and the most important thing is that undoubtedly, apart from only having colleagues, a lot of these colleagues are now friends in different countries that even if I'm visiting these countries, not for a 4EU+ related activity, I'll still actually get in touch with them and say, well, it would be nice to meet for a coffee or something else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's open the floor for 1 or 2 questions, if there are. Oh, perfect.
You're still shy. But that's good because we are behind the schedule.
Thank you, Khaled, for highlighting how 4EU+ initiatives are making a real difference, and also for bringing in the human aspect, how these collaborations help build meaningful connections.
Yes, and thank you for also mentioning the ownership, because that's also important. So let's move to the next block, which is dedicated to the students. So, Tom, I don't know how about you, but for me, working and collaborating with students has been one of the most enriching and fruitful part of what we do in 4EU+.
Absolutely. We are both passionate and about making the voice of students really heard. So, in 4EU+, students just don't participate. They lead, they innovate, and they inspire. In this next session, we'll hear from 2 incredible students who have been at the forefront of students-led initiatives within the 4EU+. First, we have Pavel Linzer, a student at the Faculty of Law and chairman of the Student Committee of the Academic Council of the Charles University. Pavel is also an active member of the 4EU+ Student Committee and the Academic Council. I have to mention that also, that he will share how the 4EU+ student network at Charles University is fostering and collaboration across universities.
It's also my great pleasure to invite Zahra Kahrizi. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. She's a PhD student at the Faculty of Science at the Department of Experimental Biology. She's the leader of the project For You Plus Transition, For You Plus Tomorrow's Research and Science Innovation in Student Startups. And actually, when we launched the Students Mini Grant some 3 years ago, Zahra's event was one of the first I attended, and it really left a lasting impression on me. And since then, I'm praising it as one of the really great examples of student engagement and student-led innovation. So thank you for being us, Pavel, Zahra. The floor is yours. You can be adjourned. Thank you.
So, dear, more up, yeah? Okay. I needed your attention, you know, so I hopefully got it. So, dear, like this or? Click no, okay. Yeah, but no, I'm more of the talking guy, so the presentation will be very, let's say, brief to not distract you of the wisdoms I prepared for you. So I will start by a little story because, first of all, it's great to talk after so many great speakers. So I don't have to repeat many things that have been already said. But my involvement in For You Plus started, I would say, approximately 3 years ago, when I was quite active, let's say, on the faculty level. I was already in faculty senate, doing many things, and I was asked if I would be interested in running for the position of the student representative in academic council. I had no idea what For You Plus is, but as is my custom, I have applied because I like European things. I really believe in European cooperation, and I saw it as a great opportunity to get involved in the university life at another level. But it took me, I will be honest with you, like 1 year to actually understand what the For You Plus is about, what is the role of students in For You Plus, and why it matters to students, and I believe mostly maybe to students, and how we can actually get this understanding that took me 1 year to comprehend, hopefully a little bit quicker to all the students at the university and make them engage. So I was really thrilled when once I got into For You Plus, I understand how big deal, and I believe especially for Charles University and Charles University students, this can be. It is another level of cooperation and of the mobilities beyond the standard Erasmus Plus, and I see huge potential in this cooperation for all the students from all the faculties. Yeah, I'm really grateful that we had the presentation of Adam, which I believe was a role model of how we would wish students of all faculties of Charles University to understand For You Plus, to engage in it, and lead by example. And I think it really can give you this extra, I don't know, spark or extra level of the studies for the students by having access to prestige, top-tier European partners, and not to be just one of many other universities or one of many university students that maybe study in their courses or go there for some mobility, but be someone who is, let's say, a member of the family. Because I believe that's one of the important parts of For You Plus. That not just only in the moments when you, for example, you are on Erasmus at For You Plus University, but even the fact that you are a member of another For You Plus University sometimes gets you, let's say, better treatment, better approach, because we are this one closer group, closer family. So our question, or what we try to do, and that's when I get to the presentation, what we try to do as students representatives at the structures of For You Plus University, whether it is academic council or student committee. We were thinking, what can we do so we have more Adams, yeah, like we had morning. So first of all is definitely to maximize the spread of awareness of the alliance, and second of all, because I believe we quite succeed, yeah, both as a local office, university alliance, people start to know, like, okay, I've heard this before. So that's the first point, spreading the awareness. But the most important one, which I will talk the most, is removing barriers. So how we can remove the barriers so people actually, and especially students, actually engage and they don't fear, and they see it's not so complicated. It's worth their time to invest in applying to the mobility courses, etc. So we came with an idea that it's not enough to have some, because we have two levels through which we can achieve this. Yeah? We have an alliance level, alliance student cooperations through the student committee, through the academic council, and we have second one, which is actually what we do at our universities. So at the alliance level, I will be very brief. We try as students representative really push for more cooperation between the students, to have more clear mandate. What is the role of the students in the alliance, etc. That would be another long story for another speech. But what I'm really grateful that we achieved, for example, is that we already talked about mini grants. And for example, this year we took the opportunity that we are in the academic council and student committee. We created a Google form where, if you were looking for partners, for other partners, universities, you could fill it, and we tried to connect better the students to actually have partners to apply for a grant, which in past year was one of the major barriers that make it hard for students to apply. So we do it on this university level, but the main thing what I want to share with you, what we do at the university level, is this 4EU Plus student network. I don't know as if you see well this pyramid, yeah, but it's actually another layer that we wanted to put to facilitate the student engagement, because we are a big university. Yeah, sometimes we forget that we are not just the faculties, that we are the university. So we wanted to create a network, some student connections at the ground level, because I think that's also one of the messages of Adam's presentation, that we need to get on the ground level. Yeah. So we try to contact all the faculties and ask them to nominate some representatives that would work as a connection between the alliance level and the students at the faculty level. It's still work in the progress, and I'm really grateful that this has support both of local office and the leadership of the university. We will have a roundtable with the rector, and often again to speak about how we can remove these barriers even more. And I think it's really not a role model also for other universities in the Alliance, how to engage with the students, because through this we already acquired more enthusiastic souls for the 4EU Plus. And even though this work takes time, yeah, it's still not at the level we wish for. Through this, we are building a community that's growing, and I think even this event will show it that it's growing, and we are getting feedback, and that I believe is the most important role of this student network, that we have this, let's say, faculty students ambassadors, yeah, that not just we can spread the information better, but we actually get feedback. What are these real barriers when someone applies to the share course or other opportunities in the 4EU Plus level? And it always strikes me that I get information that I was not aware. For example, one colleague was on Erasmus, and she told me, as a member of 4EU Plus University, I got some free language courses that other students on Erasmus didn't have. Yeah? So that's also another feedback that we can, okay, maybe this is the benefit we can spread about the alliance as well. Yeah? Or I just got from another faculty, okay, this is really, so tiring to apply for this shared course because I have to fill so many forms, blah, 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 there was a problem. Yeah? That's the feedback we had. So that's how we use the student network. We have more plans. We want to do some student days on the faculties. And last 2 points in 2 sentences. What we want, what are our next goals? Not to have just the student network, but focus more on working with the not just university, but also faculty, student representatives, yes, senators, because we believe there is a huge potential for the alliance. And second of all, the coordinators, yeah, to connect the student side and the, let's say, administrative faculty side at the faculties so we can work more together. Thank you very much. I'm running out of time, and see you.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you for the organizer of this meeting. It's very well organized meeting, and I see that every talk's completing the previous one beautifully. And it's a pleasure for me to be here to share my experience involving in a student mini grant project. And Teresa before explained about this mini grant, and also Pavel mentioned it. This is, sorry. Yeah, now we have it. So I'm here today to briefly tell you a story that how this student mini grant helped to start with an idea and grow through teamwork, networking, connections, and of course challenges. And we started this For You Plus student startup project in 2022 in Prague. And the aim was connecting the students. They are highly motivated in developing their own idea, connecting with the innovation hubs in partner universities in For You Plus, with the student startup funders and incubators, and help them to learn to develop their own idea. So for this one, first step, it was building a team and to apply for the student mini grant. It was the first challenge, but thank you to For You Plus office in Charles University that they already thought about it. And then we had a Facebook group that time. Now Pavel mentioned that is improving. We could connect the students that they are interested to join us with explaining what we are going to do, and also directly contacted the For You Plus in other universities, and I could find a very nice team and make a nice team that we could, it was the first step for us and to continue. And the second step, it was bringing together all the innovations hub together in partner universities. So we were a student. For that, we create our website and introduced our plan to introduce ourselves. They know that what we are going to do. And then we were successful to bring speakers and experts from the all universities, partner universities in For You Plus, from Copenhagen, from Milano, from Geneva. Then we also invited the student startup partners, startup founders in For You Plus universities to tell the students how they started their journey, how they developed their idea from the beginning, and how they get supported from the university. And for every university, it was different, and it was interesting for a student to hear their story. We organized a workshop and that a student could work on a team and develop their own idea, and then present the idea in a group, and being pitched with the expert that we invited in the meeting. And the main aim of this aim for our initiative, it was networking, and we had some creative fun activities to make the environment friendly for students. And at the end, it was a very successful meeting in Prague in 2022 in Prague, that we could bring together all the students that they are really highly motivated with the experts and the innovations hub in universities hub. And that was the first step for us, that we start with that. We established our community, startup community, with these all groups, and we move forward with the help of this community. In 2023, we organized another event in Geneva, which Julian, the manager of the Innovation Hub in Geneva University, joined us as an organizer. And also with the help of the For You Plus office in Geneva University, we could organize another successful meeting. And in this meeting, we changed our approach to support a student because in the previous one we had Innovation Hub, we spent the student mini grant to bring the Innovation Hub, and in this meeting we selected this highly motivated student, and Adam also was one of them. Then we explored the Fungit incubator in Geneva, that the student could engage directly with the startups and get to know how about their challenges, how they get supported from the university. And we developed our community in Geneva in 2023. And for the next one, Johanna from the Heidelberg University joined us. We expand our community and we organized another meeting with different approach. In this time, we selected a student that they have problem to solve. But actually, with this student mini grant, we did kind of the research to see what is the best in this project. We had very determined, disciplined student participated, and that one of them grad and now is already developing his own idea in Warsaw University that I can call it is a success for this student mini grant, and as Pavel mentioned, it's a spark for us. So we organized it successfully in the Heidelberg with the help of the Johanna, and we connected with the connected the students with the successful startup Nucleotid Onova in Germany. And also we visited the biolabs in Heidelberg, and that the one branch is in the Boston. It's not just only for the Europe, and a student get connected with the investor and talk with them how they can attract the investor, how they deal with the patent, and it was many active discussion happened between the students and them. And as I mentioned, from Prague to Heidelberg, we had with this student mini grant, I can say that it was not everything perfect, but we find the gaps, and we managed to know what is the best for the project, and we write a proposal for scaling up the project for the For You Plus, and I hope it will be improved in the future as based on the proposal we finished it in the Heidelberg. And I would like to say thank you to For You Plus office in Charles University and their encouragement, especially Christina. Their encouragement really was the key reason that we continued this path, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you both for your presentations and for the incredible job you're doing in driving student engagement and fostering innovation within the For You Plus community.
Thank you, really. We mean it, and I think that Zahra's experience really shows also to some of the key question, which is the sustainability of the activities that are being supported in the For You Plus schemes. But there is a space for a very last part, which is going back to the academic collaboration, and one initiative that has already been mentioned is For You Plus visiting professorships, and we are very honored to have with us now 3 professors who are currently For You Plus visiting professors. I hope you're all here. It will be there is no time to go into detail, but they will at least greet you and maybe connect with the For You Plus community at Charles University, because 2 of them are from other For You Plus universities. So please welcome Agnieszka Lenko-Szymańska, sorry for the pronunciation, Weronika Czapska, and Xavier Galmich.
Thank you very much.
Please please join us for a moment and just maybe introduce yourself or say a few words. Yes, you can start.
So hello, very briefly, because I know you are ready for lunch. My name is probably the longest of all the names mentioned here, Agnieszka Lenko-Szymańska. I am from University of Warsaw, Institute of Applied Linguistics. And my institution, Institute of Applied Linguistics, is the most prestigious, the oldest institution training translators and interpreters. But we also have teaching program, teacher education programs for language teachers. And this is actually my specialty. I specialize in second language acquisition. That is how we learn languages. And also in language teaching. I'm particularly interested in technology in these areas. So I work with corpora, which are very large collections of texts that you can explore statistically. And in multiple conferences that I attended, I met a colleague from Charles University, from the Department of English Language and Language Teaching Methodology, Professor Tomasz Graf, who invited me last year to join his project, which is building a corpus of interviews with language teachers. So, of course, I said yes, and this is what brought me here. I'm here for 3 months to work on the project. We are also looking into a possibility of further collaboration in a larger European initiative involving many partners. So I also teach a class on the use of corpora in language instruction. The first class took place on last Thursday, and apparently it went well. Well, we'll see tomorrow. Of course, I'm here for academic collaboration, for teaching, but of course I have to mention I'm here for the beautiful city of Prague. And in the morning session, culture was mentioned. So I'm going to take the full advantage of the cultural opportunities that Prague offers. So there's concerts, historical buildings, exhibitions. So I'm looking forward to this as well. So thank you very much.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to share my experience. My name is Veronika Czapska, and I'll be the 4U Plus visiting professor at the University of Heidelberg from June to August. And how this idea started. For very many years, the University of Heidelberg has been an important center, in fact, a part of the cluster of excellence in transcultural studies. And as I specialize in transcultural history, I was very attracted by the expertise of colleagues at the University of Heidelberg. So I got in touch with them. And I also had one special research dream, because this year, 2025, is also a centenary since the publication of the famous work by Marcel Mauss, Essai sur le Don, which was published in 1925. And I had a research dream to organize a conference and to bring together scholars, historians, art historians, cultural anthropologists to revisit and mark the work of Marcel Mauss, which I think is very important for and still resonates in Europe, because the theory of gift exchange is also a theory of social cohesion. It's a theory of solidarity. These are all values that have shaped Europe very much and that continue to resonate till today. And because I'm very diligent in organizing the conference, I know that I will bring together scholars not only from Charles University and the University of Heidelberg, but also from the other 4U Plus institutions and from beyond. I'm very proud that our keynote speaker, for example, will be Professor Grażyna Jurkowlaniec from the University of Warsaw, who is also the first female scholar in Poland to be awarded the ERC Advanced Grant. And part of my visiting professorship at the University of Heidelberg will also be discussing opportunities for further collaborations within the ERC framework. And I also very much look forward to give a lecture and introduce the book I'm editing at the moment, and that's a Braille decorator volume on early modern East Central Europe from transcultural perspectives. And the relation to gift exchange beyond the conference also is that I will be working on a monograph on transformations, reconfigurations of gift exchange in early modern Europe. Also, perhaps to encourage you, I have known the works of scholars from the University of Heidelberg and their publications, but I have not been in touch in person with them. And I got in touch and spent some time corresponding with them. And I hope this can kind of give you an idea, encourage you that even when you know the texts and not the people, just take the initiative and be enthusiastic. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share my experience with you.
Dobrý den všem. Hello, everybody. I'm Xavier Galmiche. I'm professor of Czech literature and Central European cultures in Sorbonne University in the Department of Slavic Studies. I would like to say three things. I had been involved from the very beginning in the adventure of 4U+ because we had some shared courses. I would like to mention one which was a great success for 3 years about Samizdat culture, an independent edition in the communist time. And we published a book with articles of Prague and Warsaw University colleagues. And it's in its way an achievement of this attempt. We had a number of spring and winter schools for our students together from Prague, Warsaw, Milano. And my colleague and late student Clara Royer is preparing a joint course between our universities. The second thing is that I'm here for this professorship on the basis of my current studies about post-symbolic cultures in the Czechs and in Central Europe. I deal with the work of Anna Pamrova, a very famous and unknown ecofeminist of the beginning of the 20th century, and we are preparing between Sorbonne University and the Academy of Science here an edition of her letters to Czech poet Ottokar Březina, and fantastic theme, but I have no time. And the collaboration with Charles University is very strategic for us. We have planned a workshop about edition, how to edit letters of different languages, in this case, German, Latin, Czech, and French. The third thing is that I'm a member too of a project in Flagship 2, which is called Dimension Francophone, and we try to support the multilinguistic dimension of the project. Okay, we do communicate in English, but not only. And we had some summer and spring schools in French. I do teach. I had a lecture last week in Czech. We collaborate with our Heidelberg colleagues in German too, and we opened now in Sorbonne University a program for Ukrainian language and culture. And my secret hope is that in the future, maybe in a close future, we could host in our marvelous union Ukrainian university. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing glimpses, and we just want to wish you best of luck, and we hope that your time as 4U+ visiting professors will be fruitful, not only culturally, but also academically, and we will be very much looking forward to hearing more about your involvement and impact. Thank you so much.
And finally, here's the time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, raise your hand. There's one.
Perfect.
Great.
Professor Jiruška, super.
Good afternoon. So it seems that it works. So is it the questions are related to the visiting professorships or everything before?
Everything.
Right.
Now it's open floor.
So my question goes towards the, I don't know, Dr. Kahrizi. So first of all, congratulations for such a very nice project. And please could you comment on your experience regarding the Innovation Hub across the 4U+. So is it equal everywhere? So do you think that some of the universities could benefit from the experience in other universities? And especially if, for example, the similar type of services are accessible for the students, whether undergraduate or PhD students at the Charles University?
Yeah, actually, it's a very good question because one of our aim it was like having networking between the innovation hubs to see how each university working, and we found that every university has different strategy in supporting the students to develop their own idea, and this networking between innovation hubs that helps that they improve their own system for each university, and we find that Copenhagen is the best and they have a very facilitated lighthouse that they developing supporting the many students, and they have regarding your question about how other university can use the benefits, that if one of the team members was from the Copenhagen University and other team member from other university, they can develop their own idea there. It was one of the benefits. Yeah.
I do think that this collaboration could be like within this area of the startups, entrepreneurship, that it could be somehow improved across the 4U+ in other universities. And what do you think should be done? So, for example, that everyone should have access to such services like in Copenhagen.
For this project that we are doing, in the proposal that we mentioned after this mini grant that we had it with experiences that every time we're visiting a different university, we find that. And if 4U+ goes and continue this project, it can be a 4U+ accelerator, and that it can connect the universities, partner universities together, like officially. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this specific question. We still have time for one last. Yeah, there it goes on left.
Thank you very much. Josef Šebek from Charles University. I've been involved in several mini grants and seed projects. So I really see like I really can agree with everything that was said here before. Thank you very much for all the presentations. My question is not a question. It's actually I would like to ask. Because there was a lot was said and a lot of interesting information and so on. So will the presentations will they be shared somewhere, or is it possible to look at them once more and to just go through them in a detail?
Of course, since it's whole recorded, then there will be a possibility to see all the presentations and also the speeches.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, so I think that's it. I think we can really be proud. We can be proud of what we've grown together. So thank you very much for being here with us today. Thank you to the speakers. I know we've given you quite a challenge to speak very briefly, and there would be so much more to talk about deeply, to discuss for hours and hours, but maybe there will be other occasion for that later. So for those of you who are joining online, that's really it. Be sure to follow 4U+ and Charles University social media for updates, so follow us. And to all of you, if there is anything you would like to discuss further, or if you need support, help, or if you just want to discuss your ideas, the 4U+ Charles University local office is always here for you.
For those who are with us in the Patriotic Hall, we encourage you to explore the engagement wall and leave your ideas and reflections. And of course, don't forget about the seeds in your gift bag. Let's see what we can grow together.
And now really it's time to enjoy the lunch break, connect, and please be back for the parallel sessions, and we will meet here again at
15:45 for summaries of parallel sessions. Please be on time.
Not as us. Thank you very much. Can you see my sheets?